Mikel Arteta's Arsenal have just finished their first game back in pre-season. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing 6 things that we learned from Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 1 out in the United States. But before I begin, if you are new here, please smash the subscribe button, smash the like button and turn on those notifications. It really does help me out. Let's try and aim for 100 likes. I know you guys have got this. So if you didn't watch the game, I'm just going to give you the 6 things that we learned. And number 1 is Nwaneri is a baller. A fantastic performance from Nwaneri, really showing his quality and showing why he is so good and possibly ready for more of a chance in the first team next season. He looked really comfortable in there against a really strong Bournemouth side. He collected the ball in really nice areas and his tight control is a cut above a lot of players his age, and he just looked really good in there, and it gave us a lot of confidence for the future to see Ethan doing the things that he did in that first half, specifically against Bournemouth. I think his best moment definitely came where he picked up the ball in our own half and he drove all the way into the Bournemouth half to release Eddie Nketiah on goal. It was a fantastic piece of individual brilliance. Nwaneri's heat map was really impressive too. All over the pitch, he really did control that midfield, picking up the ball in deep areas and in high positions of the pitch too. He was not afraid to come close to the ball and collect it, and this reflects in his stats where he had 46 touches, 31 out of 35 accurate passes, 2 key passes, and really good duel stats too, where he won 6 out of 12 of his duels, including 1 interception too. So he's showing that he can do both the defensive side of his game but also the attacking side of the game. Number 2, senior players showing up. In a game where there was many youth players for Arsenal against a Bournemouth team which had many of their first teamers, it was up to some of our first teamers to really step up, and they did. The likes of Julian Timber, Ben White, Martin Odegaard when he came on too were really impressive, showing their quality. On the other hand, Thomas Partey wasn't really that impressive, and maybe he's showing again that we do need to reinforce that midfield, as he gave the ball away far too many times for my liking. But in terms of the likes of Ben White, Julian Timber, they looked really sharp, and Martin Odegaard too when he came on at half time, which is exactly what we needed. So fair play to those first team players, and it really gave the confidence for our youngsters to express themselves. Number 3, Fabio Vieira showing up again in pre-season. Fabio Vieira is a player who's now into his 3rd season at Arsenal, so it's massive and imperative that he gets a really good pre-season under his belt and he can get into next season with so much confidence within him, because there's a quality player in there with his passing and his creative ability coupled with his powerful shots. He can really be a difference maker, and him getting a goal was massive for his confidence, and he is now 1 up for pre-season in his goal tally. And some really nice touches were in there too, linking up with Ben White. He looked really sharp, which is what you want to see. So fair play to Fabio Vieira, a really positive performance from him. Number 4, Milos Lewis-Skelly adapts brilliantly to a new role. In a game where Milos Lewis-Skelly was asked to play as an inverted left back, he really did so well. I was so impressed with the way he did in the duels, and he was really good on the ball too. It's not an easy task as a midfielder by trade to come into a senior game and play inverted left back, but he was really good. He knew when to come into the midfield but also when to stay wide, and every time an attacker came down his side, he looked really comfortable defending, exactly what you want to see, especially in this instance where Favre has the ball. He looks in trouble, but he has that tenacious ability and dual winning technique to win the ball up and set us on our attack. He had really good line breaking passes too, which shows he has the ability to play in the midfield where I think he should definitely be. But some positive signs from Lewis-Skelly playing that inverted left back, and in terms of his stats, Lewis-Skelly had 1 tackle, 1 interception, 45 touches and 100% pass accuracy, which is absolutely ridiculous. He was so good on the ball, knew when to pass, and he never gave it away, as his stats show. He also won 3 out of 6 of his ground duels and 1 out of 1 of his aerial duels too, boasting that defensive ability again. So a really positive display from Milos Lewis-Skelly, and something which he can take with a lot of confidence going into the next pre-season games. Number 5 is a more general point, as the Arsenal players were able to boast a really good structure. In a game where you're playing against a team which has far superior players who have a lot of Premier League experience, it is important that the shape that we normally play with the first team is translated into the team where there's less senior players. And that's exactly what happened. We boasted a really nice 4-4-2 shape which we adopted in the Premier League last season, and it was really hard for Bournemouth to penetrate us at times, especially in that first half. Things did kind of fall off in the second half, with players like Reckitt really struggling, and Aiden Haven as well did kind of struggle but was really positive too. But the general shape of Arsenal was really good, and it was really nice to see it both in an attacking sense and a defensive sense. Finally, number 6, Salah-Eddine, excellent. In a game where everybody was talking about Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri, it was really hard for the other players to really get the hype coming into this, but the likes of Salah-Eddine was really good in that first half. He came off in the second half for Martin Odegaard, but he really imposed himself playing in midfield. The ball was almost glued to his feet, and it was really nice to see him collect the ball, try and create, and be really positive with the ball. He has a bright future, and it was nice to see Arteta give him a lot of confidence in starting the game. We have a really top player who's boasted both defensive work ethic and also attacking work ethic too. He was really top, and it was nice to see him out there really expressing himself. So maybe he's somebody who's going to break out into the first team that we didn't expect. Finally, in a game which was all about fitness, it was kind of nice to see Arsenal win that penalty shootout to give the boys a lot of confidence. 1-1 on the night, but in terms of penalties, we won it, so we won the game overall, and it hopefully will give those young players confidence, because it's always difficult, especially in the first preseason game where there's a lot of eyes on you, to see how you perform, to get away with a victory or a positive result against the opposition in which Bournemouth were, who had a lot of first team players. I keep reiterating this, but they really did have a lot of first team players. So to come out of that game with a victory is really nice to see, and I'm sure we can go on to the next preseason game against Liverpool with a lot of confidence, and hopefully we'll have a 22-year-old centre back on the team. Peace.